out of the Basic Adult Piano Course Lesson Book Level 1. And we are on page 42. Good morning, everyone. And if you are popping in here, we have videos earlier that cover up to page 41. So now we're on page 42. So far, let me get my microphone up there. It's a little bit better. So far, we have looked at the C position, both from a playing perspective and also from a sight reading perspective. We looked at the G position and what we call, the book doesn't call it, but I know things. What we call the primary chords, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. These are primary chords in the key. Same with the key of G. 1 chord, 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Now, where did I get these numbers from? So if you looked at the scale of C, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're back to 1. So the 1 chord would be 1, the 2 chord would be some kind of D, 3 chord would be some kind of E, the 4 chord would be some kind of F, the 5 chord would be some kind of G, the 6 chord would be some kind of A. Later on we'll figure out these chord qualities, and the 7 chord will be some kind of D. So that's why I called it the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. If you ever wanted to remember those primary chords, just think of that Louie Louie song. All I did was change the key, and I got the same primary chords in a different key. So we put chords to those 1 chord, 4 chord, and the 5 chord in both hands, and we did it in C, 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. That's the quick review. Now on page 42, we're going to get into this middle C position, but I'll give you a disclaimer. There are things that you will use in your playing for the rest of your life. With these next 3 pages, 4 pages, probably not one of them. I don't find that I use middle C position very much, if at all, but let's study it anyway. It's good sight reading practice, and it has one little benefit that, so here's middle C position. We're on page 42. Both thumbs are on C. Now you notice the right hand, we're familiar with that. That's the same as C position. In other words, the right hand didn't move. It's just the left hand is coming up to join it. Now that little, what I just played is called counterpoint. Both. So we number our fingers from the thumb is always 1 and pinkies are always 5. So we're on 2, 3, 4, 5. That sounds sweet. So we have another warm-up. And you know I'm a big fan of warm-ups, especially for beginners and intermediates. So you should start your practice with warm-up, whether that's some kind of warm-up. So on page 42, at the top, we want to know not only where those notes are on the keyboard, but where are they on the musical staff. The right hand, we got already. We've seen that already. See, the new, well, I don't think the notes are new because we've had a couple of them. middle C is middle C. It doesn't matter what hand you're playing. Then you got B. Notice where it is on the staff. A. Notice where it is on the staff. G. Where it is on the staff. F. F is the first line. Notice where, if you looked at the bass clef, little trick for you. F is on the second to the top line in the bass clef. But if you look over, you see those two little dots where on the F clef itself, it's surrounding the F line. And a lot of people will call this whole clef the F clef. It's a good way to remember where F is. F is surrounded by those two dots by the F clef. Same with the treble clef. You see, okay, another little hack. Let's look at this note here in the treble clef. Okay, so it is on the second line from the bottom. Now, if you look at the treble clef, you see that little circle. It's hard to see the little squiggly. And let me see if I can point it out on camera. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this is gonna work. You see that little squiggly part there? It is surrounding the line where G lives. And a lot of people call that the G clef. That's a good way to remember where G is. So F clef, G clef. Anyway, enough about that. So down at the bottom it says thumbs on C. If the thumbs are on C, that's going to put your pinky or finger number 5 on F. In the bass clef, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. And that's kind of a warm-up, but it's good sight reading practice. Let's look at page 43, waltz time. Again, 3/4 time. Take a look at this piece of music, 3/4 time. There are some ties there. There are some rests there, especially quarter note rests, and some whole note rests. So let's figure out how this is supposed to sound. So if I see C in the bass clef, I'm going to probably play that with my left hand. Don't have to, but I'm going to follow the music. So that might take you a little bit to coordinate that timing between the left hand and the right hand. Just get the groove, just get the 3/4 kind of groove, and then if you have to practice that hand separately, go ahead and do that. If not, use it as a good sight reading practice. On page 44, we're still in middle C position, and my book is trying to close on me, so let me get that straight. Gotta love these books laying on your desk. I should get me a music stand or something. Okay, so again, middle C position. So we have a G. Now we have like this. A little bit of harmony there, so another good sight reading practice. And that did sound like Happy Birthday. So if you can play 44, yeah, you can play 45. Except for it's got a couple of eighth notes in there. Let's take a look at the difference between a quarter note and an eighth note. A quarter note gets in 3/4 time or 4/4 time, it gets a beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. An eighth note gets half a beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. And it says, if you're ready, go look at that adult pop song book. I don't have that book, but now we are done with middle C position. Again, it's 3 or 4 pages. As I said, there's a little disclaimer there when you are really playing songs or songs that I play anyway, or style that I play anyway. I don't use this position very much, but go through it anyway. It's good sight reading practice. Now on page 46, now we're back to C position. So let's review what we know about C position. That's a G7 chord. That's a practice point. Let me slow that down. And I was actually playing it accented the way I've heard it. So let me play it the way it's written. 1, 2. Another practice point. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so now on the third line we have some chromatic stuff going on. The red thing that says DC Alfreds, that means go back to the beginning and play until you see ending. So you go all the way back to the beginning and that's a pickup note. Okay, so now what's going on in this song? Now we got a nice little review of a lot of things. Number one, we're back in C position, so you might have to circle some areas and put some targeted practice there, like that. Some of you may have to do hands separately first. 3. practice. I'm using fingers 3, 2. Now you want to coordinate that with your left hand. That little section might be a practice. Okay, so that is 46, and if you're playing that pretty well, then you're really that's a good review song, because that's demanding a lot of things that we dealt with earlier in the book. Let's see. So now we got 2 positions to deal with on page 47. So here we have we're in middle C position. What's going on with this simple gifts thing? So we start off in middle C position. We hit that G, and so now clearly we are in middle C position. Our right hand takes over. Meanwhile, your left hand is moving down to regular C position. To middle C position. We do the same thing. Again, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time moving back and forth between middle C and C position. In your future playing, that probably is not going to come up that much. But again, it's a good sight reading practice for you. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. Let's look at, measures from familiar songs with dotted quarter notes. So what is a dot? A dot means whatever note that dot is after, it gets more time. Half the time that it normally would get is added on to that. So if it's a dotted quarter note, and a quarter note gets 1 beat, then the dot adds half a beat. If it's a dotted half notes gets 2 beats, then the dot's gonna give it half that in addition. So it's gonna end up being 3 beats. So so what do we got going on here on page 49? In the middle C position. And you can go through the rest of these. These are familiar songs that emphasize dotted. On your own. And so we're going to end this video at page 50. And we're back to C position here. So How do I know I'm in C position? Well, first of all, the book tells me. But look at the left-hand chords. Will tell you. Even if it didn't say C position, look at those left-hand chords. That'll put you in C position. There again, what can we learn from this song? So again, we have those familiar chording pattern. C to a G7. C. And then we have some, that's just a scale run. C, D, E, F, G, D, G. Now together. Much to say about this that's new, except for control your tempo so that you are getting it accurate. There is nothing wrong with playing this song this slow. One of the biggest mistakes beginners and even some intermediates, they're trying to get the tempo and then their notes get sloppy, their sight reading gets sloppy. So slow it down so that you can get it as accurate as possible. All right, that's a chunk of work for us to do this week. Drop in the comments below if you have any questions, or especially if this has been helpful to you. So we are 50 pages in. We're doing great. Great. All right, Mike in Detroit. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.